Good morning, Trump's family. Welcome back to my channel. Hope you having a great weekend and God bless you. Alright, without further ado, let's get into the news this Saturday morning. And it looks like Paul Pelosi is in the news again, and no, he did not get pulled over for drinking and driving and wrecking into another Viet Man's vehicle. Now this time, he was impacted by the Democrat policies of San Francisco, of California, of the Democrat Party, and it suffered what many people in that area has suffered from break-ins and violent crimes. Unfortunately, Paul Pelosi was violently attacked, and we hope he gets better very soon, but because of the policies that his wife, and I'm sure that he supports with his money, this is the direct result of that. However, they will not blame that. They will surely probably blame Republicans for this. Republicans did this. I'm sure that that will be the talking point. So let's get this story here. This is breaking. Nancy Pelosi's husband Paul Pelosi home broken into early this morning in San Francisco. Paul Pelosi violently beat and taken to the hospital. Suspect is in custody. Early Friday morning, Nancy Pelosi's home in San Francisco was broken into. Her husband Paul Pelosi was violently assaulted. Paul Pelosi was taken to the hospital. The attack is under investigation. Earlier this year, of course, Paul Pelosi was arrested for drinking for drunk driving in California early this morning. An assailant broke into the Pelosi residence and stay in San Francisco, and violently assaulted Mr. Pelosi. The assistant. The salient is in custody and the motivation for the attack is under investigation. Mr. Pelosi was taken to the hospital where he is receiving excellent medical care and is expected to make a full recovery. The speaker was not in San Francisco at the time. Drew Hamlin, spokesman for Nancy Pelosi, said the speaker and her family are grateful for the first responders, medical professionals involved, and request privacy. That time you mean that they call the police? I mean, the police had in common and resume didn't call a social worker because they were been actively trying to defund the police. For since this fentanyl stain of George Floyd had overdosed on fentanyl. They've been trying to defund the police, and yet they're thankful for the police to show up and arrest the assailant. Interesting how that works, isn't it? You know, and I truly hope that Paul Pelosi does have a full recovery and is able to be reunited with his family. However, the point still stands. These are the policies that Democrats support, that Democrats harvest. As they release criminals back onto the streets with no bonds, and they have early releases for violent criminals. We saw what California did back in 2020, where they released the prisons out because of COVID. And they release these criminals back onto the streets to terrorize the communities of the state and the community, so that way, people, I guess, would vote for more Democrat policies. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's what their plan is. So hopefully, Californians will wake up and maybe vote in their own best interest instead of continuing to vote for these policies that lead to a direct result of crime. As we're seeing today, crime is one of the major issues that is polling very high with Americans heading into the midterms. Democrats are fearful of this because they know a red wave is coming. However, don't sit at home. Make sure you head to the polls and vote on election day. Make your voice heard. And if you've been living under a rock for the last 24 hours, you might not have known that Elon Musk has officially taken control of Twitter. That's right. Upon receiving control Twitter, he fired the CEO, Mr. Pargo, whatever his name was, and Buttigieg, the person who was responsible for the termination of President Donald Trump's Twitter account back in 2021. Well, it looks like Elon is already jumping into action over on the website on Twitter. And things are being reset, codes being looked into by the Tesla engineers as they look to make Twitter great again. So big news. Donald Trump decided to go ahead and put out a statement talking about the purchase of Twitter by Elon Musk and his return to the platform on Monday. We'll see if this happens or not. But it's pretty big news. He put it out there on his Save America website. And it says this here says statement by Donald J. Trump, the 45th President of the United States of America. Congratulations to Elon Musk on his purchase of Twitter. Many people are saying that change was needed. As the old management was too concerned. I have been told that my account will be back up and running on Monday. We will see. Happy to be able to engage with an African American owned business. Yes. So we will see if President Trump's account is restored, along with many other influential conservatives who were wrongly terminated from the platform, including yours truly here was so wrongly deleted from that platform. I'm hoping that my account will be restored as well. I wouldn't have already sent in an appeal. We'll see if that gets taken care of and resolved. And hopefully I'll be back with my main account over there. But in the meantime, were you at one point taken off Twitter as well? And are you going to be returning now to Elon Musk has officially returned and is starting to clean house as we speak as he dives into the code of Twitter and start to fix some of the wrongs to rights. Hopefully that will remain true. This is a huge win, especially right before the midterm elections, which we know are just so close to come, and that's a huge blow to the mainstream media. It's a huge blow to the Democrat Party, who had control over this institution now for a long time and influencing the election. Hopefully this free marketplace of ideas can really impact the elections moving forward in a positive way, actually getting good information out and not silencing those who have damning information on Democrats and having it suppressed and accounts terminated because of it. And this is some big news. Now, it's being reported that CNN is about to get hit with massive layoffs coming just before the end of the year. In fact, it's so bad that CNN is itself reporting on it's not just Fox or Breitbart. CNN is having to report on their own demise. This is the headline from CNN. CNN employees brace for layoffs after network chief warns of unsettling changes ahead, and here's how the article begins. That's the sort of news CNN staffers had delivered to their inboxes at 1 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday, when network boss Chris Licht candidly informed them that sweeping changes are imminent, in other words, brace for layoffs. By the end of the year, Licht, who has been conducting a business review CNN for 6 months, said in a memo that he had identified areas where changes will be made. In addition, he noted that there's widespread concern over the global economic outlook and said that we must factor that risk into our long-term planning. Quote, all this together will mean noticeable changes to this organization that by definition is unsettling. These changes will not be easy because they will affect people, budgets, and projects. Licht's memo came hours after CNBC as Alex Sherman published a deep dive examining the future CNN Sherman story, which Licht went on the record for stated that job cuts will hit the news organization. CNN is of course not the only media company aiming to tighten the belt and lean itself out amidst the uncertainty in a downturn in the advertising market. As one former television executive told CNN, the ad market will plummet into recession and rating declines are not helping. In other words, CNN is falling apart. CNN has unraveled CNN's ratings right now, as we speak. Their primetime ratings are averaging just over 500,000. Now I want to put that in perspective for you. According to our YouTube analytics, we average about 1 million views per day. So here I am with a simple camera and a simple bike. And I can get double the views that a billion-dollar news network is getting. Forget comparing them to Fox, or even MSNBC, for that matter. CNN can't even compete with YouTubers anymore. CNN has lost upwards of 90% of their audience over the course of the last year and a half. They're literally falling apart. Now this fellow Chris Licht, he's the new CNN chairman and CEO. We've talked about him before in other videos. He's actually trying to save CNN, but he knows that the only way he can save CNN is actually by killing it. He's got it, and he's not alone. You may not know this, but a bona fide Trump supporter has basically taken over CNN. Part of the new management that's taken over CNN as a bona fide Trump donor billionaires, a fella by the name of John Malone. And a number of articles have been written basically accusing CNN of purging their woke stars and employees as part of a deliberate remake of CNN, and what many consider to be a pro-Trump image. The leftist media is openly freaking out over this realization that a billionaire who supported Trump, who donated to Trump, who has a history of supporting conservative causes, is now helping to call the shots over at CNN. So he and Chris select the new CNN company's CEO. They're trying to save CNN basically by gutting it and starting afresh. So they fired the ultra-leftist correspondent John Harwood. This is the guy who actually made the claim that there was, quote, zero evidence that Joe Biden had any connection with Hunter Biden's illicit business dealings. And then of course, you had the firing of Mr. Potato Head himself, the utterly cringe-worthy and repulsive Brian Stelter. Then you had the Zoomer Grimmer, Jeffrey Toobin, he's gone. The rabid anti-Trump, CNN, Trump, CNN, President Zucker is gone. Chris Cuomo is gone. When all of a sudden done, this is all an attempt at rebranding. CNN. Both Licht and Malone want to turn CNN back to a relatively non-partisan news organization like we saw in the days of Bernie Shaw. Desert Storm coverage in the early 90s. That was the golden age of CNN, and that's the model they want to revive. But like with Twitter, they know it's going to require a massive amounts of firings. And so it looks like the bell that's tolling for Twitter employees is the same bell that's tolling for CNN. Alright, thanks for being here, folks. Please receive a big hug from all of us. Let me know down below.